Hey guys, my name is Adi, and this is my first time building a PC. I've always wanted one, and I was able to finally save up enough money for one, so here it is. For my PC parts, I have the Lian Evo in black for my case. My AIO is the Lian Galahad 360 millimeters. The CPU I have is the Intel 13700KF. My motherboard is MSI Z790. My GPU is the Zotac Gaming 4070 Ti. The RAM I chose was the Corsair Vengeance RGB 32GB DDR5 RAM. The SSD I put in is the Samsung 980 Pro 1TB. The PSU I chose was the MSI MPG A1000G. That is a really long name. I have 10 of the Lian Uni fans, and last but not least, my hard drive is the Seagate Barracuda 4TB. So here I am taking out the motherboard from its box. I got the Wi-Fi version, so that's what it is. That little tiny box is. When at the time of this recording, I did not receive my Intel CPU yet, so what I'm doing right now is I'm just gonna prep everything else on the motherboard that you would do, like the SSD, the RAM, so on and so forth, until my CPU comes in. Here I am pushing down the little tabs for the RAM, because if you don't do that and you try putting your RAM in, you're gonna mess that up, and it could either mess up the motherboard or the RAM itself, and that's just money you wasted. So if you want to put in the RAM, make sure you take down those tabs. And I'm struggling to push it down because I'm scared of breaking it. I know I did it properly, but I'm just scared. This is my first time, and there I am, second time doing it again. It's just like, oh god, there's one and there's two. Beautiful. With the RAM done, I am moving on to my SSD. I got the Samsung 980 Pro 1TB. Just peeling off anything off the motherboard before I put it into my PC, because that would be not so good. Here I am struggling to peel off the plastic off the heatsink. My fat fingers can't get it, so it's gonna take two of my hands to do it. I finally got it off after 3 minutes of struggling. With the SSD, you're gonna line up that little notch on the SSD with the notch on the motherboard so it can fit properly, and you don't need to push too hard onto it, because it should slide right in. If you're struggling with it, you're doing it wrong. And make sure, because my SSD doesn't have a heatsink on it, to peel off all that so that the heatsinks on the motherboard, cools it down. Now I'm putting the motherboard to the side because I'm finished with it for now, and I'm pulling out my AIO, which is my Lian Galahad AIO 360 version in white, and now I'm going to be putting it away because I didn't need it. Here I am showing off the PC case that I got, and let me tell you, this thing is huge. I did not know how big it was. It's massive. So right here I am currently trying to unscrew the top of the case so I can take out the tempered glass, but as you can see, I'm fucking struggling with it because I'm dumb and don't know what I'm doing. So I figured out what I was doing wrong. I didn't unscrew the top thumb screws loose enough, so that's why it didn't pop off like it should have, like so. And here I am taking off the back panel of the case, and I'm slightly struggling with it because I'm scared to take it off because I don't want to break it. I spent a good chunk of money on it, so I'm like, oh, maybe if I just, I'm like, oh, I'm scared, and boop. and all I had to do was just put a little force into it, and I got it. And right here I am pulling out the box that came with my case, and inside of it was a reversal kit for the case, and also some screws and cable ties for the case itself, which I am very surprised that it came with it, because I didn't think they would, give us cable ties, but that's neat for cable management and all. And I'm here looking for the screws for the motherboard, and I, at the moment, still struggling to figure out what is what. And I found it. It's I believe that those are it. And here I am putting all of it away, because at the moment I don't really need it, so I'm just gonna put it to the side until I do. Here I am unscrewing the side panel and taking it off, and I'm also taking off the front one, so I have full access to the PC without any, restrictions. Here I am counting the motherboard holes in the case, so I know how many screws I need to mount it properly. So here I am pulling out all 10 of my Lian Uni Infinity fans. I am going for a black and white theme in my PC, so that's why I have 4 black Infinity fans and 6 white Infinity fans, because the case itself was black, so I'm like, okay, I need more white. So here I am taking out my fans, and I never noticed how big the fans are. They are about the same size of my hand. My hands aren't that big either, so I'm like, damn, those are some huge ass fans. So here I am putting the fan that I just took out in the back of my case as exhaust, because as the wise words of TechSource has said, faces suck. As I was putting this fan up, I noticed that the screws were too short to go from the inside, and I was thinking, what's going on? And I'm like, oh wait, let me try to go from the outside and do that. It took me a while to get there, but I finally got there. One fan down, 9 to go. So here I am prepping the bottom bracket for the intake fans, and it's made so easy because this case is just so nice. So I'm able to take out the bracket and just mount the fans onto the bracket and then put the bracket back in, because it's just held by a thumb screw. So it's just perfect. So these are the Lian Uni Infinity fans that I got, and they look so schmexy. They really do. And they're also very cool too, because they interlock like so. And the beauty of them interlocking is that they only require one cable to power all 3, and that's just less cables I have to manage, because I'm horseshit at that. With the bottom bracket done, I moved to the back and to remove this little divider here, and I am planning to take off that bracket and put in more intake fans, because currently I have, like I said before, I have 10 fans, and you want to aim for at least a neutral pressure in your PC, but positive is good too, so why not? So with this bracket, I plan on putting the black fans so that it is white at the bottom, black on both sides, and then white fans on the top. Thinking that I was done with the bracket and everything, I slide it into the case just to find out that I put the fans on the wrong side, because the fans are supposed to be on the inside of the case, so I needed to take it off and then flip it around. Looking at the fans, they don't look too shabby. So I am trying to put the screws back into that bracket so, you know, it doesn't slip out or anything. And I'm struggling. I'm struggling really, really fucking badly. So what I decided to do is finally just to flip it over and screw it in. But even then, I was still having a hard time because it's in such a tight spot. So earlier I put up my AIO, and now I'm finally taking it out because I'm going to put it at the top with the fan, so of course I need to take it out. And what I didn't know is that it came with fans. It surprised me, but it wasn't the fans that I have. They were just like normal fans on my whatever, right? I just put them to the side. So that little middle thing that fell, it kind of scared me a little bit. I'm like, what the hell is this? And I'm like, oh wait, it goes on the AIO. Like voila, bam. So if I want to put it on a can to block the Liam Lee logo. One of the main reasons why I chose this case is because through all the reviews and the videos I've seen, that it just makes putting up fans and putting up the AIO so easy. And I'm like, I'm trying to make this as easy and as painless as possible because I don't want to spend 30 years trying to, you know, put everything together. So right here I'm putting my fans on top of the AIO, ready to screw it in, and they are set to exhaust because they're gonna suck the hot air out and put it back outside. And with that, I finished putting the AIO on the bracket, and I'm just gonna slide it back in at the top and screw it back in with those tiny 2 screws that were holding it up. As I said earlier in the video, I did not get my CPU until later, so right now I'm just currently prepping the AIO bracket for the CPU when it comes in. I'm just putting the little bracket behind the motherboard, and I'm going to put it in the screws so that when it does come in, I just have to unscrew it real quick and put in the CPU, and then bam, I'm done. And with that, I'm done with the motherboard, and I put it to the side, and I pull out the PSU. And Jesus, let me tell you, there is so many cables, and I almost dropped that. But there's so many cables in the bag, and I kind of got overwhelmed by it. Here I'm showing off my hard drive, which is 4 terabytes, so I should have more than enough space for whatever I need. So I cut this out on the video, but I was seriously struggling trying to take out this goddamn hard drive cage because it would not come out. One screw was just like, no, I'm not coming out, go fuck yourself, man. It took me about 30 minutes to do, but I was able to finally get it out, put the hard drive in, then screw it back in. So here I am actually putting the cables into my PSU. I actually ordered one custom cable for my 4070 Ti. I thought it would come with the 24 pin, but I was wrong, so that's why there's only one of them. Day 2 of this project, and my CPU has yet to come in still, but I decided to switch up my AIO from the top of my case to the right side where the black fans are, so that's what I'm going to do right now. After 5 fucking days, my CPU finally came in, so now I can finally finish this damn PC. Let me tell you, I feel like putting the CPU in is the most nerve-wracking part of building a PC. So as I was prepping the motherboard, I had to pull off the little bar that holds down the CPU, and it smacked my hand. And oh my god, it hurt. It hurt so damn much. So right here, I opened the CPU pack and I dropped it in. I was looking at it, I'm like, did I put it in right? I'm looking at it, I'm like, no, I don't think I did. I kind of nudged it and it fell right in. I'm like, oh, okay, there you go. Is it done? I think so. I'm like, but then I second guessed myself because I pulled down the bar and it wouldn't go down, and I was panicking. I'm like, oh god, did I put it in wrong? And then that shit popped out. I'm like, oh fuck, I did this wrong. But I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. We juggle on. We keep going. And oh god, it was so much tension in that little bar. It freaked me the fuck out. I was like, oh no. So after finally putting my CPU in and having a mini heart attack, I put on some thermal paste that I bought from online. It came with a little spatula, so I'm gonna use that spatula to spread the thermal paste all over the CPU so it's covered fully. After putting the thermal paste on, I proceeded to put on the AIO bracket behind the motherboard and put in the screws so that I can mount my AIO. And with that, I finished putting in the screws for the AIO bracket on the motherboard, and now I can mount it without any problems. able to finish this damn PC, I'm just gonna mount my AIO on the motherboard with these thumb screws, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now I'm finally putting the fans back at the very top, and I'm running the cable through the back so I can cable manage it later, as well putting the bottom bracket back in there as well. I didn't record this, but I already put all the wires in the right spot, so that's why you don't see it. It took me an hour to do. It was so annoying. I didn't want to record it. But right here I am actually putting in my 4070 Ti. And honestly, it was like kind of scary putting it in because I'm like, oh god, I don't want to break it because it cost me a lot of money. But luckily, I did it properly, and I just had a little problem with putting the thumb screws back in to, hold it properly. But I figured it out sooner or later. And with that, I am done building my PC. I'm putting the front panel back on, and I'm putting in this little Funko Pop of Super Saiyan Gohan and putting on the side panel, and I am done. After 5 days, I finally finished building my PC. With the PC done, I finally move on to building my gaming setup. And as of right now, I spent most of my money on my PC, so I don't have, a lot of things. I have the bare minimum, of course, a monitor, a keyboard, a mouse, and also just an extra few things here and there. But I plan on building upon my PC gaming setup, but as of right now, this will do just fine. The beauty of having a PC is that you can always add to it. I plan on getting a second monitor and adding some shelves and more personality, but as of right now, this will do fine for now. And with that, my PC gaming setup is complete, and I cannot even believe that I finally got here. I've always wanted a PC for so long, and I finally was able to save enough money for it, and I am truly grateful that I was in a position where I could. And I can't wait to add more to it and see where it goes, truly. I also wanted to thank everyone who decided to come along for the ride and watch as I struggled to build my PC, but ultimately get there in one piece.